program like procedure, but executed implicitly by SQL Server. So after creating procedure, we execute the procedure explicitly. But triggers, we don't execute the triggers. Triggers are executed automatically by SQL Server. And this is the purpose of creating triggers. Controlling the DML and DDL actions. What is controlling means? To control the DML. What is controlling the DML? Okay, then see, procedures are created to perform the DML. If you want to perform the DML, create a procedure. Triggers are created to control the DML. You want to insert the data. You want to update the data. You want to delete the data, create a procedure. But you want to control the DML. Sunday, DMLs are not allowed. You are not supposed to insert, update, delete on Sunday. Monday to Friday, DMLs are allowed between 10 to 4. Before 10, after 4, DMLs are not allowed. Saturday, DMLs are allowed between 10 to 2. Okay. Sunday, all day not allowed. Monday to Friday, allowed between 10 to 4. Saturday, allowed between 10 to 2. Sunday, whole day not allowed. Okay, no? Then, so how this is done? By using what? Triggers. Okay, no? That. Now, next. And triggers are created to enforce what? Complex rules and what? Validations. Already you know one method to enforce the rules. Already know one method how to enforce rules in SQL Server. How to enforce the rules. Okay. And here there are two ways to declare the rules. Enforce the rules. There are two methods to declare the rules. One method is what? One method. Already you know that method. So trigger is second method. The first method already you know. Then how? How to declare the rules? How to enforce the rules in SQL Server? Okay. How? By using what? One method is what? Constraints. Okay, na? Primary key, foreign key, like this. Primary key, foreign key, there are rules. Value should not be null. Declare not null. Value should not be duplicate. Declare unique. Value should not be duplicate and null. Declare what? Primary key. Value should match with another table primary key. Declare foreign key. What are these? There are rules. How to enforce the rules? By using constraint. And trigger is another method. So there are two methods to declare the rules in SQL. One is constraint, one is what? Trigger. So if the rule is simple rule, you can use constraint. If the rule is complex rule, use trigger. If the rule is simple rule, use what? Constraint. If the rule is complex, then use what? Trigger. So for simple rules, use constraint. For complex rules, use what? Trigger. So if something, you want to declare a rule, if something not possible with constraint, immediate solution is what? Trigger. If you are not able to declare the rule by using constraint, when not possible with constraint, solution is what? Trigger. Okay, then. So triggers are created to enforce complex rules and validations. Next, to audit, to manage, to generate values per primary key. Then. But for this already managing replicas. So there is alternative method. What is that is? SQL is introduced with merge command. Merge is to manage what? Replicas. And to generate values for primary key columns, sequence is there. Identity is there. Sequence is there. Yes. Sequence is there to generate values for primary key columns. For these two alternative methods are there. So triggers are mainly created for these three: controlling the DMLs, to enforce complex rules and validations, and to audit operations on tables. Okay. What is the syntax for creating the trigger? Syntax. What is the syntax for creating the trigger? Create or alter trigger name. 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 Next one, on table name. Create or alter trigger name on table name. Then next, what? After or instead of insert comma update comma delete as statements. So this is the syntax. Create or alter trigger name on table name after instead of insert update delete. So this is the syntax. Now, okay, first, your triggers are not created with parameters. Triggers are not created with what? Parameters. Triggers are not created with parameters because it's not a subprogram. Which are created with parameters? Subprograms are created. Procedure is a subprogram. You create the procedure, you call the procedure from another program. So that's why it contains parameters. Function is a subprogram. You create the function, you call the function from another program. That's why it contains parameters. But trigger is not a subprogram. You don't create the trigger, you call the trigger from another program. You don't call the trigger from another program. Trigger is executed automatically. So that's why it is not a subprogram. That's why it is not created with what? Parameters. And here you have to mention on which table you create the trigger. So trigger is created on which table. Okay, next, then next what? On which table you create the trigger plus after and instead of. Okay, na? Then. So here you have to mention the table name. Next, there are two here. One is what? After, another one instead of. Then what is after triggers? After triggers. After triggers. Okay, then. So if trigger is after, then like suppose, for example, now you created one trigger. This is the trigger. Trigger means program. Trigger is a program. So you created the trigger as after update. Okay, na? The trigger is created as what? After update. You submit update command. You submit update command to SQL Server. When you submit the update command, SQL Server, first it executes what? Update command. First, what is executed? Update command is executed first. Next, trigger is executed next. What is executed first? Update command is executed first. Trigger is executed next. First update, next what, sir? Trigger. So if the trigger is what? After. Okay, na? So always trigger is executed after the DML. First DML is executed. Next trigger is executed. Suppose you create what? It's not after. Suppose it is instead of. It is what? Instead of. If the trigger is instead of trigger. Okay, na? The trigger is what, sir? Instead of. If the trigger is instead of trigger, then what? If the trigger is instead of trigger, then okay. So if it is instead of trigger, instead of, if the trigger is instead of trigger, then SQL Server execute the trigger what? Like you submit update command. When you submit this update command to SQL, it will not execute this update command. What is executed? Trigger is executed because you said what? Instead of. That means instead of executing the DML, always what is executed is trigger is executed. DML is not executed. Always trigger is executed. So after means both are executed. Update is executed. Trigger is executed. If it is instead of, always what is executed is trigger, but not DML. So DML is replaced with what? Trigger. Okay. Then after triggers, if trigger is after, if trigger is after, if trigger is after, then SQL Server executes the trigger after executing DML. If trigger is after, then SQL Server execute the trigger after executing DML. So then, so what is executed first? What is executed first? DML is executed first. Next what? Trigger. What the next one is? Instead of triggers. Instead of triggers. If trigger is instead of, then if trigger is instead of, then what? If trigger is instead of, then if trigger is instead of, then SQL Server executes the trigger instead of executing what? DML. So the DML is replaced with what? DML is replaced with what, sir? Trigger. So DML is not executed. Always trigger is executed. But in case of after, both are executed. Okay, next, after and instead of. Next. Okay, let's take one example. Example one. So what I said, triggers are created for controlling what? DML. Okay, then so for example, create trigger to not to allow DMLs on Sunday on EMP table. On EMP table on Sunday. So create trigger to not to allow DMLs on EMP table on Sunday. So DMLs means insert, update, delete. Don't allow this insert, update, delete on EMP table on Sunday. Sunday not allowed. And how? Let's see. So create or alter trigger T1. Is not asking to insert, is not asking to update, is not asking to delete the data. is asking to control the DML. If you ask to insert, update, and delete, create procedure, but is not asking to insert, update. Is not asking. What is asking is not to allow the DMLs on Sunday. That is controlling the DML. Then create what? Trigger. So create trigger T1 on which table? EMP table. On EMP table. Then what? Next, follow the syntax. After what? Insert, update, delete, all the three. Insert, update, delete, all the three. All the three. So because he said DMLs, all the DMLs are not allowed. So insert, comma, update, comma, delete. So if he asks only for insert, here you write only insert. If you ask only for update, you write update. But he's asking all the DMLs are not allowed. Write the three: insert, update, delete. Next one, as so if the day is Sunday, then stop. Okay, now then online students, is my voice is clear? Online students, is my voice is clear? So Rajesh Gaud, everyone is saying yes, but you are saying no. So you check from your side. Rajesh, you check from your side. Okay. Okay. Then now, now you write the condition. If the day is Sunday, then stop. User is inserting, updating, deleting on Sunday, then stop. Then how? If check the day is Sunday or not. Okay. Then tell me what. If how to check the day is Sunday or not? Date name, DW, what? Get date equal to what? Sunday. If this condition true, then what? This condition true. If this condition true, then not allowed. Condition true, not allowed. Then what? But when it is executed, sir, when trigger is executed, boss. So trigger is executed, what? You submitted update command. You submitted what? Update command. Yes or no? You submitted update command. After you submit update command, first what is executed? Update is executed. Next one, trigger. So already these commands are executed. That update or insert or delete commands are already executed. After executing these commands, it executes the trigger. But inside the trigger day is what? Sunday. But already this update is already executed now. Then cancel that update because he updated on Sunday, but Sunday not allowed. So cancel that update. How to cancel that update? Cancel that update, boss. He already updated because trigger is executed after the DML. He already updated, but he updated on Sunday. Cancel that update. How to cancel update? How to cancel update? Roll back. How to cancel update? Roll back. So that DML is what? Rolled back. That means whatever record he updated, that update is what? Cancelled. Okay, na? Then next. And also, user is doing some illegal operation, na? Is not supposed to insert, update, delete on Sunday, but is inserting, updating on Sunday. Then show some error to the user because he is trying to do illegal operation. So show some error to the user. How? What? Raise error. Then what is Sunday? Not allowed. So 15, 1. Next what? End. That's it. So if the days are, if the day falls on Sunday, if the day falls on Sunday, what we are doing? Roll backing. So what is roll back? Because the trigger is executed after insert, after update, after delete. So the trigger is executed after insert, after update, after delete, trigger is executed. So inside the trigger, the day falls on what? Sunday. If the day is Sunday, then what? Roll back and raise error. That's all. Okay, then. Okay, then. But what is trigger is what created. Trigger is created. Okay. Now it's not executed. It is what created. It is created. Any procedure, if you click execute button, procedure is created. Function also created. Next, what you do? Next, you execute. But trigger, we don't execute. Trigger executes automatically. When it is executed, whenever you submit insert, update, delete commands, trigger executes automatically. Now, next, what? Then execution. Execution means we don't execute the trigger, but you submit the DML. Okay, na? And then you submit the DML. Update command. Update EMP set salary equals to 1000, where employee number equal to 7369. What happens? 7369 salary is what, sir? Updated. 7369 salary is updated with what? 1000. Now let's see. One row affected. 7369 salary is updated. When you submit this update command, what happens? When you submit this update command, what happens? First, update is executed. First, what? Update is executed. Salary is what? Updated. Next, it executes what? Trigger. Because you said what? You said what? After trigger is executed. Inside the trigger, is this condition true? Is the day, is this condition true? No. Today is what? Monday. Condition false. Rollback is executed? No. Exception is raised? No. So this update is successful. One row affected. For example, the day is Sunday. So I'll just change the system date. Just for checking, I'll change the system date. Okay, na? Then. So yesterday, 12th. What is the 12th is? 12th is what, sir? Sunday. Now I'm updating the salary to 2000. When you submit this update command, first thing what happens? Update is executed. Salary is updated with what? 2000. Next, it executes what? Trigger. So trigger is executed. In trigger, this condition is what? True. Then what happens is rollback is executed. That means when rollback is executed, this update is what? Cancel. You updated, na? That update is cancelled because rollback is executed. Next, what happens? Exception is what? Raised. Exception is raised. So let's try this. Now Sunday, what? Not allowed. Sunday not allowed. So the transaction is ended in the trigger. The batch has been aborted. Aborted means cancelled. Why the batch is aborted? Because you executed rollback. Aborted means cancel. Operation is cancelled. Okay. Then. So for executing, then submit this update command. Update EMP salary equals to something where employee number equal to 7369. If the day falls on Sunday, exception is raised. If day is not Sunday, row is effective. Sir, okay na? Then if the day is Sunday, then if the day, suppose for example, if day equal to Sunday, if date is what, sir? If date is what? Sunday. If the day is Sunday, then if the day equal to Sunday, then what happens? This command gives what? Error. If day is not Sunday, then update is what? Successful. Okay. Next. Next one. This is what? Then. Oh. Okay. But not only update. I tested for update. Not only update, insert is not allowed, delete also not allowed. Okay, then. So change the date. Okay. So this is what? Day. This is what, sir? Day. Next. You check for the time. Suppose create trigger to not to allow. To not to allow DMLs before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. Don't allow the DMLs before 10 a.m. after 4 p.m. DMLs are allowed between only 10 to 4. Before 10, after 4, it should not accept the DML. Oh, tell me what? Tell me what? Same thing, but you see the previous example, same example. Then create alter trigger T2 on EMP. Same after insert update delete. Only condition changes. Tell me what the condition. Now you have to check the what? Time. You have to check the previous one. You check the day. Now you have to check the time. How to check the time? How to check the, how to get the time? Date part. Date part what? I want to check only our part. Only our part. And then HH. HH comma get date. What? Greater than what's it? 10. Greater than 10. Next. Sorry. Below 10. Yes. Before 10. Below 10. Below 10 means 10 below. And then and what? Date part. Then date part. Sir, if time is before 10 or time is what's it? After 4. If time is before 10 or after 4. Before 10, after 4. What is HH? HH get date. Then greater than 4 p.m. means 16 you have to write. If it is before 10, after 4. In these two conditions, any one condition is true. So before 10, otherwise after 4 p.m. Then what? Roll back. Then what? Raise error. Understood now? Then so before 10 means like before 10 a.m. After 16 means after 4 p.m. After 4 p.m. After 4 p.m. Then what are the message you want to print? I want to print a message only between 10 a.m. and what? 4 p.m. Only between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. So DMLs are allowed between only 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Okay, then oh, okay, next. Now let's see this. Yeah. But actually, problem is, for example, now the time is okay. Now the time is what? 4:10. 4:10. Time is 4:10. Allowed or not allowed? Actually, forget about the program. Your code, you forget this code. But actually 4:10. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Because it is after 4:10. Not allowed. But you see the condition here. Date part HH get date. What is returns? It returns our part bus. What the our part is? 4. 4 means how much? 16. 4 means 16, na? 4 p.m. 16. Now 16 is greater than 16. 16 is greater than 16. No. Then what happens? See, listen. 4:10 actually not allowed. That means if you do DMLs at 4:10, it should raise exception. It should print this message. Okay, na? Then you written a code like this. Now is doing one is doing DML at 4:10. 4:10. 4:10. What about this condition? That means in these two conditions, at least one condition is true. This is executed. Yes or no? If both conditions are false, then DML is this is not executed. Rollback is not executed. Exception is not raised. That means DML is successfully executed. Yes or no? So one is doing at 4:10. One is doing at 4:10. 4:10 is before 10. 4:10, no. Condition false. And here 4:10 is this condition true. 4:10 bars. This condition true na false? False. Because what you are taking? Our part. What is our part? 16. 16 greater than 16. Condition false. This is false. This is false. Both are false. Then this is executed or not executed? Not executed. That means DML is successful or not? Yes. That means 4:10 is able to execute the DML because it is taking only the our part. It is not considering what minutes. Yes. Okay, na? Then so now let's say here instead of 16, say 15. Say what? 15, greater than 15. Greater than 15 means, greater than 15 means after 4, after 4. Now, sir, greater than 15 means, now, will it allow 3 o'clock? Huh? Allowed or not? 3 o'clock. Hmm? Oh. No, okay. 3 o'clock. What is the 3 o'clock? Then, so 15. 3 means what? 15. So 15 greater than 15? No, false. Okay, na? Then less than 10? No, false. Understood? Then what is the condition you have to give? Sir, I want to allow up to 15. I want to allow up to 15 what, sir? I want to allow 15 what? 1559. I want to allow up to what? 1559. Yes. Then what do you have to give? Leave it, leave it. You take only our part. Up to 15, it's not. It's what? Allowed. 15. Once it becomes 16, then not allowed. That means greater than 15. Greater than 15. So if you say greater than 15 means up to 1559 it allows. Once it becomes 16, then not allows. Yes or no? Then that's all. That's why you have to give what? Greater than 15. Less than 10 or greater than 15. That means before 10, after 4. Before 10, after 4, what is executed? Rollback is executed. Exception is what, sir? Raised. Now let me create this. Let me create this. Then okay. So trigger is created. After creating the trigger, where you can find this trigger? In database DB 9 AM. Then there is a call what? Programmability. But here what, sir? Database triggers. No database trigger. No database trigger. You have not created this triggers on database. You created this triggers on database means DB 9 AM boss. You have not created this trigger on DB 9 AM. You created this triggers on what? Tables. You created this trigger on tables. So go to tables. On which table you created the triggers? EMP table. Expand EMP table. In this triggers is there. Expand triggers T1 and T2. T1 and T2. So T1 and T2. That's all. Then so then now let's test it. I want to test it. How to test? Then now what the time is? 9:58. Before 10 allowed or not allowed? Not allowed, na? Then let's say what? Update EMP set salary 2000 where employee number equal to 7369. What is the time now? 9:58. So then before 10 or not? Yes. In these two conditions, at least one condition is true. This is executed before 10. What happens? Rollback plus exception is raised or not? Yes. Let me run this. Then only between 10 AM and 4 PM. Understood? Now. Okay, na? 4 p.m. means why I'm giving 15 greater than 15 means, okay. If you greater than 15, if you give greater than 15, it allows up to 3:59. Once the time becomes what, sir? 4. 4 means 16. 16 is greater than what, sir? 15. Condition what? True. Exception rises. Okay. If we give 16 here, then if we give 16 here, then it allows up to 4:59. It allows up to 4:59. But what he wants after 4 not allowed. Yes or no? That's why give one 15. That means it allows up to, if it allows up to what, sir? 3:59. It allows up to 3:59. Once the time becomes 4 p.m., then so 16 is greater than what, sir? 15. Condition what? True. What happens? Rollback is executed. Exception is raised. Got it now? Okay. So that's all. This is what the previous one is. What the previous one is? Day. Condition is based on day. Your condition based on what? Time. Now you try this. What is, okay? Then both date and time. Date and time. So what? Create trigger to not to allow DMLs on EMP table as follows. Create trigger to not to allow DMLs on EMP table as follows. Create trigger to not to allow DMLs on EMP table as follows. No. So like what? If, okay, na? For example, then for example, Monday to Friday before 10 and after 4 p.m. Saturday before 10 and after 2 p.m. Sunday, all day not allowed. All day not allowed. So in this example, I want to check both date and time. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. before 10, after 4, not allowed. Not allowed. Not to allow. Saturday before 10, after 2, not allowed. Sunday, whole day not allowed. First example is based on only the day. Second example is based on only time. But here this is, you have to check both date and time. Okay. Then you have to combine both. Next. Then next one. Suppose like what I'm doing is, in all these examples, I'm controlling the DMLs. DMLs are allowed only this day, this time, controlling the DMLs. Next. And another one, like suppose, for example, create trigger to not to allow to update employee number. Create trigger to not to allow to update employee number. You're not supposed to update the employee number. If user is trying to update employee number, then stop. If user is updating the employee number, then stop. Is not supposed to update what's that? Employee number. Because employee number is what? Primary key. So you're not supposed to update the primary key values. You're allowed to update other columns. What is e-name, job, salary, remaining columns, okay. But employee number, not okay. Don't update this one. Then how to create? Let's see. And so create or what? Alter, trigger, what? T3 on EMP. Next one. After what? Insert or update or delete. Insert or update. When you want to check, I want to check only update. Not at the time of insert, not at the time of delete. I want to check at the time of update. Then here, 1 second. Suppose I do one thing. So I'll execute what's her rollback, then raise error. Raise error. Suppose I'm giving uh, cannot be updated. Just I'm giving a message like this. Then if you create a trigger like this, what happens? When you create a trigger like this, what happens? If you create a trigger like this, what happens is the complete update is not allowed. What is not allowed? The complete update is not allowed. You can't update what? You can't update employee number, you can't update name, you can't update job, you can't update what's her salary. You can't update the number, you can't update the name, you can't update the job, you can't update the salary. You can't update other columns. Understood? Then what? Then, but I want to raise exception only when user is updating employee number, because other columns can be updated, only employee number cannot be updated. Then here check whether user is updating the employee number or not. Then whether user is updating the employee number or not. Then what? If what? If then there is a function. What the function is? Update function. Here you pass which column user is updating. What that is? Employee number. Then so if user is updating employee number, if this condition true, then what? Begin and what's it? Raise. Just I want to print a message. What the message? Employee number cannot be updated. Next one, what's it? End. So if this condition true, roll back and raise error. If this condition true, roll back and raise error. That's all. So commands completed what? Successfully. Okay. Then now I want to test it. Then I want to test it. Then what? Let's test. What is this? Is update what? EMP set employee number equals to 999, where employee number equal to 7369. What I'm doing? I'm updating 7369 value with what? 9000. So then let me run this command. Then what happens is, so first this, when you submit this update, then first update is executed. Next what? Trigger is executed. Inside the trigger, is this condition true or not? Yes. Then what happens? Rollback is executed. Exception is what? Raised. Let me run this here. Then what is the message? Employee number cannot be updated. Sir, okay na? Then I don't want to allow the user to update employee number and hide date. Then don't allow the user to update employee number and hide date. Then what? What? Or what? Update what's it? Hide date. Update EMP NBO or update hide date. So if both conditions are true, then if both conditions are any condition is true, then if any condition is true, then roll back. If at all user is updating employee number, or if user is updating what? Hide date, then what happens? Rollback is executed, then message is printed. Yes or no? Here you print employee number, comma, hide date cannot be updated. Okay. But here I asked only to not to allow what's it? Update employee number. Suppose if you want, you write like this: employee number, comma, what? Hide date. Then employee number, comma, hide date cannot be updated. Then so what is the execution update EMP? You know, oh, next. Okay. So this is what some examples, but if you observe these examples, in all these examples, what you are controlling the DMLs. Sunday not allowed. Okay, na? Before 10, after 4 not allowed. Updating employee number, height date is not allowed. What you are controlling is you are controlling the what DMLs. Triggers are not only created for controlling the DMLs. So you are validating the DML, checking the insert, update, delete operations at what time, what day. Okay, then. And triggers are also created for validating the data. Triggers are not only created for validating the DMLs, triggers are also created for validating the data. We can also check the data. So in these 3 examples, are you checking the data? You're not checking the data. You are checking what? DMLs. What day, what time is inserting. Okay, na? You're checking the DMLs. Okay, so triggers are also created for validating the data. I want to validate the data. Suppose user is inserting the data. User is inserting the data. I want to check whether job is valid or not, whether salary is valid or not, whether department is valid or not. So at the time of inserting the data, I want to check whether data is valid or not. I want to check the job of the employee. I want to check the salary. I want to check the employee belongs to which department. So I want to validate this data. So the triggers are also created for validating the data. So if you want to validate this data, first of all, you have to access the data in trigger. If you want to what? Validate the data, first of all, you have to access the data in trigger. Okay, so without accessing the data, validating the data is what you cannot validate the data. So you have to access this data in trigger. How to access this data in trigger? For accessing this data, SQL Server is given 2 tables. The 2 tables are called magic tables. The 2 tables are called what? Magic tables. SQL Server is given 2 tables. The 2 tables are called magic tables. Okay, then. So there are 2 magic tables. One is what? Inserted. One is what? Deleted. There are 2 tables. The 2 tables are called magic tables. One is inserted. One is what? Deleted. Okay, then why these tables are called magic tables? Why these tables are called what? Magic tables? Because these tables are created and destroyed automatically. When trigger execution starts, these tables are created. When trigger execution completes, these tables are destroyed. So these tables are created and destroyed automatically. That's why these tables are called what? Magic tables. Okay, so these tables exist only during the trigger execution. You cannot access these tables outside the trigger. You can access these tables only within the trigger, and we cannot access these tables outside the triggers. Then, so these tables are created and destroyed automatically. And these tables these tables can be accessed. These tables exist during the trigger execution. These tables exist during trigger execution. Once trigger execution is completed, automatically they're destroyed. Next one. And these tables can be accessed. These tables can be accessed only within trigger, but cannot be accessed outside the trigger. So these tables are created and destroyed automatically. So these tables exist during the trigger execution. Once trigger execution is completed, these tables are automatically destroyed. And these tables can be accessed only within triggers. You cannot access this table outside the trigger. Next. Okay, now then next one. What is inserted table is? Okay, what is the inserted table? Means the record user is trying to insert. The record user is trying to insert. User is trying to insert is copied to inserted table. And the record user is trying to, okay, na, delete is copied to deleted table. The record user is trying to update is copied to both inserted and deleted tables. The record user is trying to insert is copied to inserted table. The record user is trying to delete is copied to deleted table. The record user is trying to update is copied to both inserted and deleted tables. The main aim of these two tables is accessing the data affected by DML. Okay, then now now suppose, for example, user is inserting the record. User is what? Inserting the record into table. Number, name, job, salary. Is inserting the record into table. Whatever the record user is trying to insert, I want to access this data in trigger. I want to check the job. I want to check the salary. I want to check this data in trigger. So if you want to check this data in trigger, so what SQL Server is doing, it is copied to what? It is copied to a table. What table? It is copied to inserted table. So if you want to access this data in trigger, you can access this data from inserted table. Okay, then so what is copied to inserted table? Complete row. Number, name, job, salary. Complete row is copied to inserted table. His number is 100. Okay, his name is A. His job is clerk. His salary is what? 4,000. Like complete row. That complete row is copied to inserted table. So his number is 100. His name is A. His job is clerk. Salary is 4,000. Next one. So suppose here what? And like the record user is trying to delete from what? EMP, where employee number equal to something. What is 100? Whatever. Is deleting. So the record user is trying to copy to what? Deleted table. The record user is trying to delete is copied to deleted table. What is copied? Number, name, job, salary, etc. Complete row. So this complete row is copied to deleted table. So what that is? Employee number is what? 100. Name is what? A. Job is what? Clerk. Salary is what? Salary is what, sir? 4,000. Salary is 4,000. Next one. Update. Update EMP set salary equals to 2,000. Where what? Employee number equals to 100. Then update EMP set salary equals to 2,000, where employee number equals to 100. What? This is copied to both inserted table and deleted table. So what the actual, suppose say 5,000. I'm updating the salary to 5,000. So this is copied to inserted table and deleted table. What is copied to inserted table is new salary. What is copied to inserted table is new salary. What are the new salaries? 5,000. Employee number 100. His salary is what? 5,000. What is copied to deleted table? What is copied to deleted table is old salary. What is the old salary? What is copied to deleted table is old salary. EMPNO salary. What is the old salary? Old salary is what? 100. What is this is 2,000. What is the old salary? 4,000. 4,000. Old salary is 4,000. Okay, then. So the record you are trying to insert is copied to inserted. The record you are trying to delete is copied to deleted table. The record you are trying to update is copied to both inserted and deleted tables. So if you want to access this data, see, you're deleting the row. You want to access this data in trigger. How to access this data in trigger? You can access it from deleted table. You're updating, user is updating. In trigger, I want to access the old salary, new salary. How to access this employee's old salary, new salary? You can access the old salary from what? Deleted table. You can access the new salary from what? Inserted table. Okay, then. So whatever the record that user is updating, inserting, deleting, that is copied to tables. So if you want to access this data, you can access the data from the tables. Okay, now then. So with the help of these two tables, we can access the data affected by DMLs. Okay, then. Now, let's take some examples. Okay, example 4. Okay, then. Suppose, for example, create trigger to not to allow to decrement employee salary. Create a trigger to not to allow to decrement the salary. If at all user is trying to decrement the salary, then stop. If he's incrementing the salary, accept. But if he's decrementing the salary, then stop. Okay, then. Create trigger to not to allow the user to decrement what? Salary. How? Let's see. What is create or what? Alter trigger, what's her? T4. Create or alter trigger T4 on what? On EMP. So create or alter trigger T4 on EMP. And create or alter trigger T4 on EMP. Next one, after what? Not to allow to decrement salary. So when you want to check, I don't want to allow the user to decrement, but you want to check whether user is incrementing or decrementing. But when you want to check, when user is what? At the time of insert, at the time of update, at the time of delete. updating only. So okay na, then for incrementing, for decrementing salary, what command user executes? Update command. At the time of execute, you check. At the time of update, you check whether user is incrementing or decrementing. Incrementing, allow the user. Decrementing, stop. Then so the trigger is what? After what, sir? After update. After update. At the time of update, I want to check. Then so suppose, for example, what is the salary of what? You see the table, select star from EMP. You see the table. So this is the EMP table. What the salary is? 1000. The salary is 1000. What is my command is update EMP set salary equals to 500, where employee number equal to 7369. So what I'm doing, I'm updating the 7369 salary with what? 5000. Then it should not allow this. Yes or no? When user submit this update command, so this trigger is executed. But in trigger, what I have to do? I want to check whether user is incrementing or decrementing. Okay, na? But how do you know whether user is incrementing or decrementing? You have to compare the old salary with what? New salary. What is the old salary? 1000. What is the new salary? 500. You compare old and new salaries. If new salary is less than old salary, then new salary is less than old salary, means decrement. New salary is greater than old salary, means increment. If it is decrementing, stop. Incrementing, allow. Then in trigger, what I need? I need old salary and what's her? New salary. How can I get this old salary and new salary? What I said, when user is executing the update command, this data is copied to both inserted table and deleted table. What is copied to deleted table? Old values. What is copied to inserted table? New values. And get the old salary from deleted table. Get the new salary from what? Inserted table. Yes or no? Then how? What? Take what's it? I'm taking what? Two variables. Old salary is what? Money. Next one, new salary is also what? Money type. Get the old salary, new salary. Then select what? Select at the rate what? Old salary equal to salary from old salary equal to salary from deleted table. Next one, select what? At the rate what? New salary equal to salary from what? Inserted table. So get the salary from deleted table, copy that value to this variable. Get the salary from inserted table, copy that value to this variable. And then what? If what? Old salary greater than what? New salary. Then okay, na? Sorry. If new salary less than what? Old salary, then what? New salary is less than old salary, means decrementa, incrementa. New salary is less than old salary, means decrement. Decrement, then what? Begin, then roll back. Roll back that update plus what's it? Raise error. Then what is the message? Sal cannot be what? Decremented. You can't decrement the salary. Then okay. Then so create this. Okay, create the trigger. Then now create. So trigger is created. After creating the trigger, what? After creating the trigger, now test it. How to test? How to test? Update. Then so execute the update command. Then this is what? Execution. Okay, now then so what is this? Is update what? EMP set salary equal to salary is what? 500, where employee number equal to 7369 is updating the salary to 500. So let me execute this command. What this command is, sal cannot be decremented. Got it? Then, so this command gives what's it? Error. Then no. So if he is trying to decrement, then actual salary is what? 1000. Is updating the salary with what? 500. So when he submit this update command, what happens? First trigger is executed. Yes or no? First what is executed? Sorry, update is executed. Next what? Trigger. So in trigger, what we are doing? Getting the salary from deleted table. What is the salary in deleted table? What is the salary in deleted table? What? 1000. What is copied to @old sal? 1000. And the salary from what? Inserted table. What is the salary in inserted table? 500. That is copied to @new sal. Okay, na? Then. So what is @new sal is 500. What is the old salary is 1000. So this condition true or not? Yes. What is executed? Rollback is executed. Exception is raised. Okay, na? Now. So, and for example, sir, every organization, what they do, every company maintains list of employees who resign from organization. Okay, na? Every employees what maintain the list of employees who resign from organization. Every company maintain the list. So there is a table EMP what resign. In this table, they store what? The list of employees who resign from organization. One field is what? Employee number. One field is what? Name. One field is what? Hire date. One field is what? DOR, date of resign. One field is employee number. One field is name, one field is hire date, one field is date of resign. So then this is the table. So in this table, they want to keep the list of employees who resign from company. When employee resigns from company, immediately insert the record into this table. What details you have to insert? Is number, is name, is join date, is date of resign. For future inquiry purpose, the employee goes to another company. That second company will do the background verification. So they go to the previous company and check. Okay, na? So they have to give the details. How they can give the details? If they store the details, they can give the details. So that's why every organization maintains list of employees who resign from organization. So not only this, they maintain job salary also. When he's resigning, what is the job of the employee plus what is the current salary? Okay, na? Then okay, then this is the table. Now what do you want to do? Okay, na? When employee resigns, insert the data into this table. Actually, when employee resigns, what you do? When employee resigns, what action you perform? Delete. You delete the record. After deleting the record, insert the record into what? EMP resign. After deleting, insert the record into what? EMP resign. Okay, then now, so then first I'm creating the table. Create table what? EMP resign. One field is what? EMP envo integer. E name what? Varchar of 10. Next, hire date, what date, and DOR also date. So table is created. Okay, na? And table is what? Created. Table is created. After creating the table, then what? Now create trigger to what? Insert details, to insert employee details into EMP resign. So whenever employee, when employee resigns, what? An employee resigns, insert, create trigger to insert details into EMP resign. When employee resigns, insert the details into EMP resign table. Okay, then so simple. What? Where the details are there, you execute the delete command. When you execute the delete command, where this record is copied to? This record is copied to what? Deleted table. This record is copied to which table? Deleted table. So get the record from deleted table. Insert the record into what? EMP resign. So then create. Okay, then so create trigger. Now trigger name is T5. Then what? Then what this is? After, not update. What? After delete. As, then after delete. As declare what? At the rate what? Declare at the rate. Take the variables. What we have to insert? Employee number, name, hire date. Okay, na? So when employee resigns, you delete the record. When you delete the record, it is copied to deleted table. Get the data from deleted table and insert into what? EMP resign. Yes. And then how to get the data from deleted table? Get the data, deleted table, copy the data to the variables and insert the data. What is one variable for employee number? One variable for name? One variable for hide date, one variable for date of resign. Now select what @envo equals to empenvo. Next one, what name equals to ename. What hire equals to hide date. And what DOR equals to date of resign is not there in what EMP table. What is there in EMP table? Then so from which table? From which table? Deleted table. Sir, when you delete the record, it is copied to deleted table. Getting the data from deleted table, the data is copied to this variables. Whoever is resigned, that employee data is copied to deleted. We are getting the data from table and copying the data to variables. Now insert the data into what? Insert the data into EMP resign. Then what? Insert into EMP resign what values? Employee number. Where is the employee number? @envo. Name @name. Hide date @hide. Date of resign, get date. Date of resign is equal to system date. That's all. So keeping the list of employees who left the company. Okay. Okay.